What's up? Um, it's roughly around 5 hours before I would normally have this video published. Um, Still too early for me to put my contacts back in because I just couldn't sleep last night. So this will be the first one that I can't really see what the hell's going on, nor can I read the timer to kind of keep myself in line. Because apparently my last one, seeing another set of colon numbers up there and be like, oh, it starts with a one? Never mind. Um, that's all right. I know sometimes whenever I see an hour long one, I'm going, well, I can do that at some point, but not anytime soon. Um, but I I always think about something to talk about, and not necessarily in a profound way, but more or less, what could I talk about for at least a half an hour, if not 40ish minutes? And there are days where I'm struggling. Last night I went to bed, I'm struggling. I'm like, what the hell? And shortly before I hit record, I was like, perception. Um, yeah, if there is anything that's really kind of hit me this year, it's a single word sort of unlocking something. And with the word perception, you know, you could have someone walking down the street in nice shoes, not fantastic shoes. Um Look fairly well put together, or even, you know, fairly decently dressed. And some people would think, ah, damn it, really? Just cause a disruption? All right, anyway. Some people would think he's kind of a bum. He's not really dressed all that much. You know, doesn't have anything that screams, I got money. And that dude could be making $200,000 a year and just think, why should I have a billboard on my body that tells everyone I have money, or at least I've spent money? Because you could also have someone who walks down the street and has name brand everything, has jewelry on their fingers, jewelry on their wrists, on their ears, neck, whatever. And like, oh, look at that money that person's wearing. But if they spent it all on that and they have a 700 square foot apartment in an okay part of town, you're going to think, well, where's all the money? Well, I'm wearing it. It at least got you back here, didn't it? And it's been things like that that kind of sit on my mind. And one thing in particular that really, really always kind of floods my thought capacitors when I get to 88 thoughts an hour is diamonds. I don't understand the draw for diamonds. Because if diamonds are supposed to be so damn great and they're supposed to be so well sought after, and we're supposed to be convinced that they have value, why are they everywhere? Why does everybody have them on like a nose ring, or necklaces, or a ring, or earrings, or a diamond tennis bracelet, or an anklet, or a toe ring, or teeth, or we have steering wheel covers that get just bedazzled the shit out of with diamonds, or you have license plate covers that are just bedazzled the shit out of with diamonds. And I was kind of wondered that, and I'm going, if they're so fantastic and they're so valuable, why are they everywhere? You know what else is fantastic and everywhere? that you can find good value in? Vending machines. You can find vending machines everywhere. Shit, rest stops are pretty much built around them. You can get more value out of that. But if diamonds are so damn great, why are they everywhere? If like, when was the last time you saw someone walking around with like a ruby on a necklace, or an emerald on a ring, or a sapphire in an earring, or I don't know, an amethyst encrusted bracelet? You know, you have all these other gemstones that you could talk about. You know, no one ever really cares much about pearls. They're like, them plastic. Well, you realize you can craft glass to look just like a diamond. So there's no guarantee just because you see a diamond that that's what it is. So at what point do we just kind of lose interest? You know, I can remember going to malls and there were 3 or 4 jewelers, and then you had the little kiosks from time to time in places around the mall. Like, you would have anywhere between 7 or 8 jewelry stores in the mall. 7 or 8 in one mall in one small part of St. Louis. I, I don't get it. I don't get it. The only thing that I can say that I think works is that because a diamond is essentially colorless, it goes with every color. So it's great to accessorize with. But beyond that, they can't be that valuable. I remember hearing a story a while ago about a guy buying a $4,000 ring in a jewelry store, walked across the hall to the next jewelry store and tried to sell it. You know what they gave him for it? He just left the store across the hall. $1,500. Because they were going to try and see if they couldn't sell it for around $3,000. So it already lost $1,000 in depreciation just from going from one side of the hall to the other. So if they're so fantastic, why don't they hold their value? And I'm sure those of you have heard things like this too. As soon as you drive a car off the lot, it's lost its value. As soon as you get that computer put in the trunk of your car, it's lost its value. I mean, diamonds are right there too. They're right there too. And I think it's because there's a lot of marketing that kind of tells you, get a diamond, get a diamond. I mean, we even have a name for the biggest diamond in the world, and everybody knows what it's called. And I find it funny that it's called that, even though I haven't looked into it. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of like family thing, but it's the Hope Diamond. So having Hope Diamond put together in the sense that'll sit there and tell you, yeah, I do hope for a diamond. Or you hear he better have like $30,000 on a ring. That's gonna be 10,000 by the time it gets put on your hand. And people won't give you 10,000 for it. They might give you 7,500. So in what realm are you thinking it's okay to spend $30,000 on a diamond ring that will then resell for 7,500? What would you actively go buy that lost 5 times its value within a year's time? I can't think of anything that I would buy that I go, you know what? I would love to buy this and have it not be worth as much in a year. I think that sounds fantastic. Isn't that just great? That just, it blows my mind that that is even in the realm of not only possibility, but that is reality. But besides, it goes with everything. What's the draw? And I think because when was the last time you saw a commercial advertising an emerald? When was the last time Jared pumped out a commercial talking about their sapphires being fantastic? But we always look at them as if they're cheap. But they're more rare to see than a diamond, so doesn't that mean it would hold its value? Again, that goes back to our perceptions of things, and because what has been pushed on us to say, you know what, I think that's true. I think I should go get a diamond. Okay. Why? Because you've been conditioned and told that's what you need to have. In order for your marriage to be okay, you have to have that. Okay, but you realize that the metal that has to hold that thing in place has to be plentiful enough so that son of a bitch doesn't rock out. Because that little bitty old thing being lost in a front yard, yeah. I if I spent $30,000 on a wedding ring, and all of a sudden I hear I don't know where it went, it's somewhere in the front yard, I can't tell you how fast I would drive to Home Depot or some garden center in some whatever, buy as much grass killer as I could, and murder my entire front yard just to find that damn thing, and then worry about restoring the yard afterwards. Like, we're finding this. If I gotta Honey I Shrunk the Kids and be in a fucking balanced bullshit and just swing around the front yard with a magnifying glass, if I had to pour gasoline on it and set the whole thing on fire and go sifting through the ashes, because the diamond ain't gonna burn. Nope. I'll find it. I'm not coming in for the next 3 days. I have to find a diamond in my front yard. That's just all there is to it. Yeah, just letting you know. Taking some PTO right now. Take a FMLA absence. But it's just, I don't know, it's always been kind of crazy for me just to have that concept that something like that must be purchased. Otherwise, it shows you don't love her. I'd be like, look, we could have matching gold bands, and then with the rest of the 29,000, we could go on one killer fucking honeymoon. Why don't we do that? I'd rather spend 29,000 on like shit. Depending on what you do and where you go, that's first class round trip. Then you have 9,000 more to spend on. I've never flown first class. I probably never will. But if I had the option to go, you know what? What if you had all expenses paid to Switzerland for a week during their summer months? All expenses paid is 9,000. You get first class air tickets there and back. You got a week. We put you up in this luxurious thing. Well, that sounds like a fucking winner to me. How much? 29,000. Well, that's two of us for a week. Or I could just every day watch. Oh, there goes another 100 of that ring. There goes another 100. 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 Because we're gonna put that much of a fine point on it, then you know what? I'm gonna do, I guess, my own small-minded pettiness part of just kind of going, yeah, I think 2000's good. I have seen some of these um, street interviews where they ask women how much should a man spend on a ring. They're like, well, they said it's supposed to be 3 months' salary. I'm going, all right, what kind of asinine number are you going to pull out? I think 55,000. I'm sorry, did you just list an annual salary for the majority of America that you want on your fucking finger? How about no, Scott? I And then you hear some of them. I've heard some girl that goes, "I don't care. Get one of those twisty things from the loaf of bread." It's the meaning behind him saying this is his commitment to me than it is for how much it was. And I just went, you need to teach classes on shit. Start killing this perception that, everyone can just fork out tens of thousands of dollars for one little thing. The most prized, I guess you could call it, comic book that I want is probably going to run me between $3,000 and $4,000, and you can guarantee it's going to be shown off that I have it, and then it's going to be put somewhere to where if all of a sudden shit starts going crazy, I can grab it and run. That's a prized possession. And you want me to consider spending 6 times that? 8 times that? 10 times that? Bro, we're going to have a talk about some realism here. To go into another funny part of perception, and I've been wanting to talk about this for a little while. The movie 50 First Dates with Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore. I think I've mentioned this before, but I didn't really get too in depth with it. Has got to be one of the most creepy, stalkery, and just selfish, thought plotted movies I have ever had the displeasure of watching. The girl has such a rare condition that her memory pretty much goes on the same every single day. She just relives the same day. Her dad helps reset it. Her brother helps reset it. And they do the same things because apparently they tried doing it elsewhere, and she just freaks the fuck out, and they're going, what the hell? So in order to make their day more palpable, they help recreate that same day again and again and again and again and again. So this dude comes in to her life and goes, that's the woman I want to be with. And they go, you need to go find someone else because she is constantly stuck in this loop. And to break her out of that loop is not okay. And he goes, nah, fuck you. I'm going to get her. And for people to think that this is a romantic movie, I'm going, you haven't looked at this deeply enough yet. Because if you remember, at the end of the movie, when you hear that dude playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow on his ukulele, they're on a boat. in the middle of the water, and she wakes up in a bed that is not her bed, in a room that is not her room, with a TV that says, "Play me," that gives you a video that describes your everyday existence that you don't recall. And you're expecting it to be your dad's birthday again. You're expecting you have to go do this, and you watch this video of a dude you don't recognize telling you about your life that you have no memory of, that you have gone through, and you do not recall one bit of it. And you're supposed to be okay with that. Not only that, if it would have been just that, that'd have been okay. But then you add in two things that really just threw my perception of the whole damn movie out of whack. You added in two kids. So now those kids are going to be even more fucked up than mom, because mom doesn't even remember having them. And then if you even go back farther, can you imagine what the situation would have been like when she wakes up from having to pee in the middle of the night because she's carrying a baby she doesn't remember having? And then you have some strange person telling you it's okay, we're in love, I'm your husband, look at your finger, and you have no memory of this? How is that not just an ever-living nightmare? You cannot tell me that this movie is okay. You cannot. There is no way in hell. And I would love to hear someone like Critical Drinker or even Pitch Meetings cover this movie just to see what they say about it, because there cannot be anything good about it. It can't. There's no way you can find anything good about this when you break all of it down, and the sheer terror that this woman lives every single day, that this guy has to sit there and convince her every single day that he didn't kidnap her, that he didn't just sit there and get her pregnant twice, and she's just supposed to be okay with this, like some kind of Stockholm syndrome, that she's going to forget the next day. And you're doing what? The best advice in that movie was listening to father and son to go, you need to just go away, because you don't understand what we're going through. Like, what's going to happen in another 10 years down the line when the kids are teenagers and she's waking up and there's people she doesn't know in her house, and she looks at herself in the mirror, her face is starting to sag, she's got gray hair everywhere, and she's just supposed to be okay with it? What if she shaved her legs the day before, and she's an every other day leg shaver? So in her eyes, she never is going to shave again because she just shaved yesterday. Are you going to buy hair dye? You going to go get her Botox? Like, that whole movie is just the Twilight Zone. There's nothing of that can be real. Nothing of that can make any kind of sense. And I am always baffled when I've come across anyone that tells me how great this movie is. There's no way in hell you can think that if you pay attention to everything that has transpired and you truly think about what's going on. Because them kids were old enough to wipe their own ass. Them kids were like 5 and 7 or some shit like that. So then what if she was breastfeeding? How are you going to have her nurse? You're going to convince some lady to just nurse some kids that she doesn't know? Why am I able to nurse? I'm not pregnant. I got my dad's birthday today. Like, come on, man. I can't be the only one that think that this movie is just horrific on every level. I cannot be the only one. Perception. I mean, like I said, that's like a fun example of it, but it's so true. Just think for a moment. I'm like, how is this okay? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me how a movie like this could just be perceived as being, oh, it's a good romantic comedy. No, it isn't. This is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen in my life. Like if you what was it, Scream 1? Do you like scary movies? Of course. What's your favorite scary movie? Showgirls. They need to update that to go 50 First Dates. All right. I promise I'm off that high horse. I know that I've mentioned it a few times, but I don't know if I went into those exact details. But yeah, mm-mm. Nope. That's where I firmly stand on that one. Um, yeah, like I saw. Oh no, I'm not gonna bring it up because it's gonna be impossible for me to pull up the footage on it again. But it was just talking about the hobbies that men have that um women find the least attractive, and I want to say I remember there being a list of 8, and like taxidermy was on there, and I just kind of went, "That's a hobby." Like I know some people do it, but do people just actually like blast a robin out of the sky and then go, "Let me stuff this in like some kind of like eagle swooping in war memorial kind of thing?" That's fucking weird, man. But I mean, I guess. Um, but it all came up because there was comic books was on there. And I'm like, well, and they had said that video game was the number one least attractive. I'm going, ladies, let me explain something. Your love of trash TV is the exact equivalent of men playing video games. We're both just enjoying experiencing another existence. It's the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Watch Desperate Housewives or The Bachelorette or The Bachelor, things like that. Big Brother, um, all those kinds of shit. All of that shit. You watch those because it's experiencing a different world other than what you live in. No different than us in video games. Just saying. If you want to try a different hobby or something else, or even like true crime shit, different existence, same thing. Only we just choose to be interactive with ours. You know, we'll go pop some people's heads off and make some kids cry online because we are better than them, or get pissed off at kids that whoop our ass and tell them that we'll beat them up in real life. No different than you want to sit there and learn about Ted Bundy and his crazy ass. Same shit. Same shit. So as soon as those programs start dropping off, you might see some dudes eventually just going, all right, I'll I don't know, I'll pick up blacksmithing or something. But yeah, like I said, I have no idea what the timer is right now. I think it says like 30 minutes or so. I can't see. 30 minutes on the dot. Because at this point I'm just kind of rambling at nothing, and I don't want to take up too much more of your time today. Um, if you got an idea for something you want to have me gush about or whatever, feel free to let me know. Um, yeah. I could definitely tell my SAD is fully active now because it's kind of messing with my thought processes and things like that. So, um, yeah, I'm still gonna keep doing it every Tuesday though, or an update of saying it's raining too hard and the power's out. But all right, you guys have a great one. Stay safe. Weather's getting crazy here in St. Louis, so don't get crazy with it. And talk to you soon. Be safe.